Hello and welcome, dear ladies, to my almost impromptu little Kundalini yoga practice workshop dedicated to ladies only. The reason why I've decided to share this because it's one of my favorite Kundalini practices for many reasons, and I'll explain why. And because I'm doing it right now to cleanse my energy space, I've decided to, why not to share it with the rest of the world. Now, if you've never tried Kundalini yoga, you may not know that it is, on the one hand, one of the fastest, most efficient modalities when it comes to reprogramming our subconscious mind and working with our energy field. But everything comes at a certain price, and the reason why, because it can be incredibly hard. There are certain Kundalini practices that drive you crazy because you need to, do certain movements for minimum 11 minutes, and you sit there, you're angry, you swear, you want to quit, you can't take it anymore, but you continue because we all want and need change, and Kundalini yoga provides us with it. However, when it comes to this practice, which is called Kirtan Kriya, it's one of the easiest, especially this variation, because there are different variations of Kirtan Kriya, but this variation for ladies only, it's the easiest and, in my opinion, super relaxing. You don't have to do a lot of things, you can just enjoy, and it's such a beautiful way of starting your day if you decide to do it in the morning. I'll talk a little bit about when to do it in a couple of minutes. Now, Kirtan Kriya, as I mentioned, it's my favorite for number one, because it's the easiest, secondly, because it's really beautiful, and thirdly, because we use one of the most well-known Kundalini mantras, but also one of the most beautiful ones, which is Satanama. Satanama mantra, which consists of 4 words, basically means the circle of life, because it's the birth, it's the life itself, it's the death and the rebirth. So the whole, cycle or circle of life. So Sa is the birth, it's the cosmos, it's the beginning. Ta is the life itself, it's the existence, it's the creativity. So Sa, Ta, Na. Na is the death, it's the transformation, it's the change. And Ma, Satanama, I'm just, reminding myself the order. And Ma is the rebirth, is the resurrection, is the beginning of something new. Now, if you have ever had a tarot reading, or maybe you're a tarot reader or tarot practitioner yourself, you know that in tarot, death doesn't necessarily mean something bad. Very often, death card represents change, rebirth, a new beginning, something that doesn't serve you anymore, getting out of your life, etc., etc. So it's the same logic here. So how do we go about the practice? Now, first of all, the practice lasts for 11 minutes, only 11 minutes. Again, it's very doable. But the minimum number of consecutive days we do the practice for is 40 days. And then there is 90, 120, and 1,000 something. My first attempt at this, not attempt actually, it was a successful one, was during the pandemic in 2020, and I've done over 100 days just because I was bored and I was really enjoying this practice. You don't have to go for like 120 days or 90, but you should do the minimum one, which is 40 days. The good news that because it's so relaxing and beautiful, it's definitely doable. However, if you skip a day, you will have to start from scratch, so be mindful of that. So how do we do that? First of all, we lie on our stomach and our chin with our palms facing upwards, and then we put Satanama mantra. So in the description section, I'm going to put the link to Spotify and also the one version that I found on YouTube. So you put the Satanama mantra. It's only 12 minutes, which includes the intro and the end, and the 11 minutes of the practice itself. So all we need to do is we touch our thumbs to the rest of our fingers in sync with mantra. So, Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. That's literally all we need to do, and we recite it mentally, because obviously you will be lying on your chin, so your mouth will not be able to move. Another thing that you need to visualize, so now I was gonna go, so see, sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. So I'm gonna show you. So we lie on the mat with our palms facing and on our chin, and then we go in sync. Sa, now I'm not gonna do the entire practice because you really don't need it. You don't need me. You can do it by yourself. Just put in the mantra on, or Spotify or YouTube, whatever you prefer. Probably on Apple they'll have it as well. And that's all you need to do. Yes, another thing, while you're lying there on your stomach and on your chin with your palms on the floor facing upwards, and you're doing the fingers in sync with mantra, the one extra thing that you need to be mindful of is you need to visualize a ray of light coming from heaven, entering your crown chakra, Sahasrara, and exiting at 90 degrees, exiting through your third eye. So boom, boom. That's all you need to also visualize. So you're reciting mantra and moving your fingers in sync with a mantra and visualizing the light. That's it. Now be mindful, because there could be a tendency to move your fingers in other directions, so starting from little finger instead of index finger, but the correct way is index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. So be mindful of that, because I started this practice at the beginning of the month, and 20 days later I was like, wait a minute, something is not right. And I realized that all this time I was going through, in the incorrect direction. So I had to start from scratch. So index, middle, ring, and little finger. This is how we go. And each finger represents a certain planet. That's why it's so important to stick to this order. So 11 minutes, minimum 40 days. Now you may ask, when is the right way to do this practice? Whether in the morning, throughout the day, in the evening. My personal preference is I like to do it first thing in the morning, literally. I have a firm mattress, so I don't even go on the mat. I just turn around, I put a pillow aside, lie down, and I do the mantra. Why? Because first of all, I prefer to do it in the morning and get it over and done with, and don't stress about forgetting to do it and then starting from scratch. Secondly, because this practice is so relaxing that if you are tired in the evening, plus you may have too many items on your spiritual plate already, like gratitude technique or certain affirmations or mental bank, whatever it may be, if you're too tired, the probability of you falling asleep during the practice is much higher. So in the morning, it would be my suggestion, but see what really resonates with you, which one, what time of the day you prefer. Still, it's so relaxing that even in the morning, if you haven't gotten enough sleep, you may fall asleep to it. So another recommendation, for you is maybe put an alarm 15 minutes later, so you don't oversleep or miss your work or important appointments in the morning. But yes, my preference is the morning. If your mattress is not firm enough, then of course you should do it on the mat, and maybe it's good you will wake up and you will do it, and and then go by your day. Why are we doing it? Now, this is the most important question, right? You may ask, okay, Zara, why is this practice even there, especially given that it's for ladies only? It is believed that every man we've been intimate with leaves their energetic traces in our auric space, and they are stuck there for up to 7 years. So imagine you may have had a boyfriend years ago, and you may have been intimate with that person, and now you've moved on, you may be married, you practically forgot about that person, but still his energy attachments, hooks, implants are still in your auric space, feeding off you. So that is why we do this energy cleansing. We want to remove everything that doesn't serve us anymore, that is just redundant in a certain way. It's this, garbage that we don't need, this clutter. Even if you're married to the same person for over a decade, it's always a good idea to still do this practice. Why? Because it's like starting afresh, freshen things up. It's like putting a new coat of paint on the walls, right? Just to make it prettier and nicer. Every now and then we really need to cleanse ourselves. And because during this practice we are naturally getting rid of certain people, cutting cords, removing hooks, implants, etc., they may start reappearing in your life. Now, this is literally what happened to me last week. I'm doing this practice. I've been doing it for since the beginning of the month. And one of the people that I definitely wanted to completely disconnect from, he reached out. Why? Because they subconsciously feel that something is not right, because they can't really feed off your energy anymore. You're cutting them off. So be mindful of that. Don't fall into that trap, especially if that's someone you don't want for them to be back in your life. Just a little warning here. So yeah, basically it's pretty much it. Again, 11 minutes a day, a minimum 40 days. Beautiful, beautiful practice. I hope you will enjoy it, and if you have any questions or have any feedback when you start doing it, please do not hesitate to reach out or drop a comment below, and hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for joining in.